if I were to pick one that I would have to have end all be all, like this was the only thing I could do. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to the vlog. If you're new here, things are gonna be a little bit different. This is not our typical video. This is the first one-on-one video I've done on our channel. I don't know if it's something I'm gonna do often, but I'm gonna do it for this just because I feel like it's something that I wanna talk about. We're gonna be talking about some changes that I'm making just for my daily commute and what I do and things like that. So for those of you that are new, thank you for joining. For those of you that have been here, thank you for your support. We appreciate that. Today we're gonna be talking about the new purchase. Last Saturday, I decided to go out and get one of the new F150 Lightning. It is an all-electric truck, and I'm going to be talking about the reasonings behind that for what I do. Ever since Dodge or Ram released the TRX, that had been a dream truck of mine. So think back to 2020 or so, whenever it got released, that was one thing that was on my bucket list. I was like, I will have one. I just didn't know when it was going to happen. I was like 24 or however old at the time. Fast forward to December 2023. We were finishing up our house, and in December of 2023 we closed on our house, and a week later I went and found a brand new 2023 Ram TRX. Now this truck, for what I do, I drive a lot for my job. I'm basically field sales type stuff, so I'm constantly moving, constantly driving all throughout the Metroplex. It's nothing for me to do 200 miles in a day. Now while the TRX, it's 200 miles of fun every day. It started adding up, and not that it's a problem, it's just, it's not really, we have bigger goals in life than to just drive a cool truck or to do something. So if there's spots that I can save money or things that I can do differently that'll help my family or help us, you know, achieve more, the higher goals, the other goals that we're going for, then I'm absolutely gonna do it. I bought this truck, and one of the things that I want to make this channel about is full transparency, right? So I bought this truck in December 2023. It had a $106,605 window sticker. When I bought this truck, I put about $20,000 down, and that left my payment at around $1,560, $1,600 a month. One of the things I started running into was, now this truck is costing me $1,200 to $1,500 a month in gas to drive. It takes premium. I get about 10 mile a gallon because I have fun when I drive it. And you know, there's days where I'm driving a lot or I'm driving on the highway. So I looked at things and I was like, what could I do differently that, you know, I'm not stacking miles up on the TRX. You know, these are discontinued trucks, so I don't want to have something where I have 100,000 miles on it in 2 years. You know, I want to keep it lower mileage, save it. One of the big things is the depreciation on it. So if I put 100,000 miles on it in 2 years, what's it going to be worth? What's it costing me to drive? All these things. I started putting all those things into factor, which is where the Lightning comes into play. Now the Lightning is different in a lot of ways. This is a full EV truck. This one does have it's the Flash model, so it's like a glorified XLT. It's got about a 340 mile range on it. And last weekend I had one of the Tesla wall chargers installed in our house. That way I can charge it overnight. Now this thing, I can charge it about 10% or so an hour at the house. And our electricity, when we're off high demand hours, our electricity is about 8 cents a kilowatt. So it's pennies on the dollar to charge this thing versus when I drive the TRX. Now there are things I love about the Lightning, but there's also things that I don't love about the Lightning. One of the things I do love about it is the efficiency. When I drive this, you know, and here's, one of the key features I'm excited to utilize on this truck is the Blue Cruise. I had a 22 F150 before. I did not have the Blue Cruise on that. So I'm excited to see what the Blue Cruise is like and get to try some of the little features and stuff. This truck has a lot of neat little things too, like it has smart scales on it, so depending on how much weight you put in the bed, it'll tell you the exact weight. It's got the 9.6 or whatever it is kilowatt Pro Power on board, so essentially I could power the house if our power were to go out, things like that. Now I have a generator. I don't know if I'd use the truck if the power ever went out or anything like that, but it's got it if I ever do want to use it. The one pedal drive is different. Essentially when you drive with the one pedal drive, as soon as you start letting off the throttle, it'll automatically start applying the brakes. It's good for, you know, because this truck uses the brakes to regenerate battery power and stuff like that. So it's neat to see, okay, when I drive one pedal, I can average, you know, 3 kilowatt hours or whatever it is per mile. Once I do that, you know, I'm extending my range that much more. When I am driving this truck, you know, the 340 or so mile range is huge, right? Because if I do a day where I go out and I drive 200 miles or so, I can come home and still have 30 to 40% battery left and put it on charge overnight. Say it's $1 or whatever it is to charge it a night. You know, for me, that's huge. Now, this truck I did lease, partially for business purposes and stuff. You know, lease has tax benefits and things like that. So I did lease this truck. It's on a 3-year lease at 20,000 miles a year. And I was able to lease this thing for about $600 a month. And that $600 a month was with 0 down as well. So that's another key benefit. You can get really cheap payment with no money out of pocket. Essentially, you just gotta pay the first payment, which is $600 and whatever dollars. There's some crazy discounts on these trucks right now. The window sticker on this one was about $72,000. But with all the discounts and rebates and they're trying to push these, they're trying to give these things away right now. So for me, it made sense to where I could have a $600 lease and say it cost me $20 a month in electric. You know, I got $620 that it cuts my expense in half. So I go from spending $1,200 plus in gas alone on the TRX to where now I'm able to drive this thing brand new, under warranty, all that stuff, for about half the cost. And it saves the miles, depreciation, everything on the TRX. Now, you get your key differences, right? So an electric vehicle is a whole different type of driving. It's a totally opposite ends of the spectrum. Whereas at times I feel like the F-150 is more fun to drive than the TRX is. You know, the Lightning, the EV, the instant torque, the instant acceleration, everything about it, it feels fun and it feels faster to drive around when you're driving through town than the TRX does. Now the TRX I love because obviously supercharger noise, V8, all that stuff, the exhaust, it sounds awesome. You know, they're two totally different trucks. And for me, if I were to pick one that I would have to have end all be all, like this was the only thing I could do, it would be TRX all day. But the Lightning, from a business standpoint, for what I do, you know, it made a ton of sense just to switch over, to save the TRX, preserve it a little bit, you know, where now, instead of, you know, we get to a weekend and we want to take a truck out or we want to go out to eat or do anything like that, I wouldn't want to drive the TRX because I was trying to preserve the miles. Versus now, you know, we can take the Jeep, we can take the Lightning through the week, and then the weekends we can save for the TRX. Or if I have a day where I'm feeling frisky and I want to get the TRX out, I'm going to drive the TRX. Both of these trucks have their own, you know, positives and negatives to each one, right? So one of the things I love about the Lightning is the space. So you get this front space, which I think is pretty cool. For what I do, this is pretty cool. This is another concealed storage space where I can put everything that stays watertight, and it's just a neat little thing. Now, with this truck, I did end up doing the same. I'm a big fan of the Retrax bed covers. So obviously on the TRX, I got one here. And that was another thing I wanted to make sure I did on the Lightning as well. So it's got its Retrax bed cover and all that stuff. But as far as pure joy driving a vehicle, I do feel like there's nothing better than getting into a TRX. The noises from this truck, you know, the supercharger whine, the exhaust, like everything about this truck makes it something that's irreplaceable. They don't make anything else like this, and this was one of those trucks that I thought, you know, I would get and I'd hang on to it forever. You know, I never want to get rid of this. This was one of those things that, you know, you set a goal and then you achieve that goal and you don't want to let it go. You want to hang on to it. You want to keep it around. So that's been the big thing for us lately is, what's the next step, right? Do I need 2 trucks? Do I need something that's going to sit around as a backup when you got something like this that costs this much money just to sit here? You know, between my payment and insurance for where I live, this truck now costs me about $2,000 a month just to sit here in the garage. So do I want to keep it? Absolutely. Does it make sense to keep it? Not really. you know, we have these higher goals and things that we want to achieve, and you know, a big step to that is freeing up stuff that's not necessary. Now, does that mean I'm going to get rid of this truck tomorrow? No. But does that mean that in the future we could do something different? Absolutely. Right now, you know, I've had this F150 for about a week. I've had the Lightning for a week, and I put 800 miles on it in 1 week. And right now, I am enjoying driving it. I am enjoying being in something different. It is very different from what I'm used to. And the difference is cool. The difference is neat to an extent. So long term, I did a lot of research on those as far as battery degradation and all that stuff, to really see how the battery is going to last in the future and stuff like that. Obviously, I can't speak on that because I've only had it for a week and 800 miles, so I don't know long term what it's going to look like. But right now, it's fun and it's new and it's different. And I do like fun, new, and different. That's one of my faults. You know, I'm the type of person that usually keeps a vehicle for a year, 2 years, max, absolute max, and I want to try something different. I always like trying the newest, funnest thing. Do I think there's anything better than a TRX on the market right now as far as trucks go? No, I don't. I think the TRX is the absolute top of the tier as far as looks, sound, drivability, everything about it. I love it. Now, do I think that EVs have their purpose for what they are? Absolutely. You know, for someone that's going to drive like I do, I think they make sense. If someone wants to be efficient, an EV makes sense. This is not efficient. This is fun. And for what I do, it's very, very fun, and I love driving it. It's not efficient. So the big part for me is, you know, having the best of both worlds. I can have the efficiency, but right now I've also got the fun. Or if I want to be efficient for 4 days a week, I can do that. If I want to have fun for 2-3 days a week, I can do that too. And that's going to be the big thing. I'm going to hold on to the TRX for now, really see how the Lightning goes, see how everything ends up on that. And then, you know, maybe make a decision down the road. If I want to get rid of the TRX and get a car or get something different. I do want to keep a backup truck because for what I do need a truck. So it's beneficial to have a truck around just as a backup, just in case. So if the TRX does go, I'll probably find something, you know, just to drive just as a backup, but we'll see what happens. I guess long story short, one of the big questions is, would I sell my TRX for a Lightning? At this very moment, if I had to choose one of the two, no. I would keep the TRX and I would hang on to the TRX and I'd make it work. Now, after 20,000 miles in the Lightning versus 20,000, however many miles I put on the TRX, that would be a better comparison for me. But right now, the pure joy out of hearing the TRX, driving the TRX, everything about the TRX, I love it and I wouldn't trade it. Sure, the Lightning's fast, and if I were to line them up side by side, I'm sure it'd be very close. I think the best 0 to 60 I've had in the TRX is like 3.6, 3.7 seconds. I think the Lightning, they call for 3.9 or 4.0 or something like that. So I'm sure side by side it'd be really good. The TRX on the top end though, it's a whole different truck. Like on the highway, everything about it, it's just really, really fun. So for me, if I had to choose one of the two, the TRX would be the option for me. But you know, taking into account if you're driving a lot for work, if you're driving more than 150 or so miles a day and you want to be conservative, or if you just want to save money at the end of the day, like who doesn't like saving money? Who doesn't like doing something that, you know, could affect them in the long term? You know, this truck might cost me $20,000 a year on gas alone. Whereas this truck, you know, I've got my payment, which say that cost me $7,000 a year, and then say the electricity cost me another $400. You know, I could literally have half the cost driving this truck a year, less than half the cost driving this truck a year than this TRX. Doesn't account for the insurance too. Where I live and my age, and I don't have any tickets or anything, but my insurance on this truck right now is about almost $6,000 a year. And the insurance on this Lightning, where I'm at, is about $2,900. So there's a lot of cost benefits if you were to choose a Lightning over a TRX for similar performance. I won't call it the same performance, but I'll call it similar performance. For what it is, the Lightning is a fast truck. It is fast, it's fun to drive, it feels like a go-kart when you're driving around. It almost feels like a video game compared to the TRX. The TRX, you get the raw emotion, you get the sound, you get the feel, you get everything with the TRX. It's a whole different driving experience. You really need to drive both just to feel the real difference out of the two trucks. And at the end of the day, there's you know, EV vehicles are not for everybody. I was the one person that used to not make fun of, but talk crap about the EVs. I wasn't the EV fan at all when they first came out. And I'm still on that borderline of if I'm a fan of them or not. I know I have one now, but this is trial and error, right? So I'm trying to see if it's something that would be a good fit for me, for what I do and all the driving and stuff. But if there was a vehicle that fit me better and my lifestyle and what I like and what I want to do, the TRX would be, you know, 11 times over 10 over the Lightning as far as my lifestyle and what I like to do in life. All right, so at the end of the day, I hope you guys are able to see kind of my reasoning for both and how I don't really want to choose one over the other right this second. And I don't want this to come off as biased for one or biased for the other, or feel like I'm playing the middle or anything like that. It's just I don't have enough hard evidence to show, like, is this worth it over this right this second? You know, I can give my 1 week feel, my lifestyle feel, my opinion, everything about it on my end. You know, if it was money that came down to me making my decision, if it was money that came down to it, it would be this truck. If it was joy, happiness, everything that I want, it would be this one right here. So that's why I have both of them. That's why I'm able to kind of keep them both, you know, opposite ends of the spectrum, to see which one, you know, I really like long term. And like I said, both of them have their pros, both of them have their cons. They're two totally different vehicles. So at the end of the day, am I selling my TRX to keep my Lightning? At this moment in time, I'm not. Now, could that change in 2 months? Could that change in 3 months? Could that change in 6 months? Absolutely. Nobody knows what's going to happen. Nobody knows. If I find something else that I want to try, if I find something else that I want, and I need to get rid of something, I'm probably going to get rid of the TRX, because this right here is saving me money at this moment. And if I can use that to save money and find something else that I want, whether it's a car or a different truck or anything like that, then I'm going to keep this for work. I'm going to keep using this and utilizing that savings to fund my life and what I want to do, whether that's other vehicles, traveling, you know, buying land, buying whatever. But who knows what the future is going to hold. But I appreciate you guys listening to me. I appreciate you hearing out my opinion. Let me know what you think too. I know that, like I said, it's a very controversial market. You got the EV people and you got the gas people, and both of them seem to be completely against each other. So that's why I have one of each. You know, I can't pick a side when I have them both. But let me know what you guys think. I do see a future where EVs are efficient for a lot of people. I also feel like a lot of people aren't open to the ideas of the change and all that stuff. And some people, where they live, their electricity costs just as much as gas does, so they don't see that savings. You know, thankfully I'm in an area where I can really see a cost benefit of having an EV, because our power hour rates are so cheap. Like I said, they're under 8 cents a kilowatt. That makes a huge factor. If you have somewhere that's still 20-30 cents a kilowatt, then maybe the EV won't make sense. You know, depending on how much you're driving and all that stuff. They're gonna be different for everybody. You know, these trucks are still new. And that's one thing. Like, yeah, the battery has an 8-year, 100,000 mile warranty, and I'll only have it until it hits 50, 60,000 miles. So the whole time I'll have it, it'll still be under some type of warranty. So I won't get to see the long-term benefits. This isn't a video where I've got 80,000 miles on my Lightning and here's what I think about it. That's not what this is. This is, I've got 800 miles after a week on my Lightning, and this is what I think of it so far. Please let me know what you guys think. Any questions you have, leave them in the bottom, and I'll be happy to go through and answer any questions you guys have. But that's it for now. I appreciate you guys listening, and I'll see you next time.
Austin used to really like me, and it's really sad. It's really sad. He used to like me, like really like me, and enjoy spending time with me. But then he started making me like do all these crazy things, like boy jobs, like mowing the lawn, neglecting me, because now he's a freaking EV guy. Yeah, look at you.
Walk of shame.
Yeah, over to your little Tesla charger. Are you kidding me?
Yep. Get my Tesla charger for my electric vehicle.
Making me do all the boy jobs all because you have an electric vehicle now?
I still got the best of both worlds.
What happened to you? You used to love me and the TRX.
The TRX is still here, and it is staying here for now.
Yeah.